From classic corsets to modern streetwear, American fashion has come a long and tumultuous journey. Let's take a look back at how it has changed over the decades. American women's clothing through the ages is more than just fabric and stitching. It is a mirror of what she has faced. From the time the first woman stepped into the wilds of America, she wore not just fur or skin, but a survival kit to survive in the harsh natural world. When native tribes wove beads into their AO dye, each stitch was a storage system. The story of the early times, the story of the first woman in the Americas. The wind whistled through the wild cliffs, the thin sun shone down on the cold land of an unnamed world. She had no clothes, no seams, but she had instinct. Every morning, she woke to the roar of thunder and the distant howling of wolves. Her hands sewed pieces of animal skin she had hunted the night before, not for fashion, but because winter spared no one. That her dress was tied with deer tendons, and at her waist hung a small bag of flint and dry bones. Her hair was tied loosely with a leather strap. A few feathers stuck loosely behind her ears, swaying in the wind. She did not think she was beautiful, but every step through the snow, every scar on her hand, every dried bloodstain on her dress, was a declaration, "I am alive." That was the first beauty. The beauty of existence. Native American era story. She was no longer just a wanderer of the wild. The land had claimed her, and she, in turn, claimed it back. Her footsteps now knew where to fall. Her hands wove not just to cover, but to speak. Her dress, soft buckskin, moved like water when she walked. Every bead she stitched told a story, a river crossed, a child born, a dream whispered by the fire. Feathers in her hair weren't ornaments, they were memories. When the wind blew across the plains, it carried her spirit, strong, silent, and proud. She was no longer surviving. She was singing, with every thread wrapped in legacy. This was her land now. And her dress? It was her language. Story colonial era, 1600–1750, she left the native fields and entered a world of new laws. Where long skirts covered her ankles, and church bells replaced the drums of her ancestors. When the first sail landed, she brought with her wild skin but soon wore the clothes of the new world. She learned to tie the corset, the tight fabric that promised the Europeans, "Be gentle, be a woman." But she added not just lace, but the breath of freedom, ancient leather pieces embroidered into the hem, native beads lifting the cuffs. But even in her corsets, tiered skirts, and bonnets, she did not forget the whispers of the earth. In the colonial kitchen, she learned to survive with her hands. In the eyes of European men, she learned to keep quiet. In the dark tent by candlelight, she let go of her corset, letting each breath return, letting each stitch of fabric soak in blood, sweat, and hope that one day she would wear it not just for herself, but for a new nation. As the gun went off, and the Declaration of Independence was read, she lifted the hem of her dress gently, as if pulling aside an old curtain, opening up a new light. This was when the sheer linen no longer hid her. It showed off her curves, her spirit of standing up for freedom. She was no ordinary woman. She was part of a revolution, woven from both ancient experience and modern aspirations.